Alright, well, the heifers finally found the bell. They were going to try to follow me through the gate, and so I kind of just drove back down there and see if they could follow me. And they started following me, and then they stopped and just stared at me. And I went down there, and they just kind of stood there and stared at me. And all of a sudden, then they took off running down there. And I guess they finally figured it out. But there's the steers right there. And we have been feeding them grain and them squirrel bells, and of course there's cows. Now I'm fixing to go over to the barn and get an air bell out of the barn there. Then come back over and park the tractor down here in this barn. So that way I'll have a bell for next time. And right now I do have a video uploading this update on the pasture. I don't know how well that video is going to turn out or not, because it didn't really, I don't know how great it's going to come out. I don't know. I kind of felt like I kind of made a crappy video yesterday, and today's Sunday, and yesterday was Saturday, and yesterday was absolutely beautiful, and today the high is 40 degrees, 40, and it's just been kind of misty, rainy all day today. So it's kind of becoming a crappy day again. Of course, the last couple of weeks we've had kind of crappy weather, cold, crappy weather. Okay, go in the gear. And but this week, way they're showing this week's actually supposed to be really nice, or this coming week, which will be pretty nice. Guess I'm gonna have to fix that again. As the cow's probably shoving up against the gate there and stuff. Yeah, crap. Oh well. I'm gonna have to do something a little different than that design, because that'll eventually come out again. But I got 4 of them here. One of them is ours, and we just kind of raised a couple of steers for ourselves and for a couple of people in the family. No, one of them's my uncle's, and him's pretty good size. Him and I don't know if that one out there, they're all getting pretty good size. I mean, we had them out there in the field eating on grass, and then of course we put them down here in the lot to start feeding grain and stuff, and that was sometime middle to the end of September when we brought them down here. Yeah. And of course, my dog there running. I'll see y'all here in a little bit. Well, hey there everybody. I came over here to the, well, this actually used to be one of our big hay barns that we used to store not by hay in, but as of course that kind of quit after we quit milking cows. But I mean, we still store hay on that side right there. But came over here and got a bell, and then I'm fixing to go back to the house and park the tractor down in the barn. And of course I always, just in case, every once in a while Grandpa will actually back in here and get a bell out to feed the cows. But usually I use this to feed the heifers, or you know, or if we are feeding the steers round bells, this is what I feed them. But here lately we've been feeding them square bells, or the heifer, or the steers at least. But I usually kind of like to put at least 1 or 2 bells like this, that way my granddad can back in here and pick them up and carry them out. But anyways, while I was over here, I got thinking here the other night, the electricity went off for, it was probably about 2 hours, I think. And that kind of got me to thinking that, of course, this was sitting up there in the barn, equipment shed, and it's whole John Deere generator, PTO generator. And I did try it out last year, and it, made sure it still works, at least last fall. And I don't know what size or anything like that is. I'll have to look when it's a little, or at least when the sun's out and shining in here, or get a flashlight or something. But we've had this thing for a long time. We used to use it whenever electricity would go off back when we was milking cows, and we had a Mass Ferguson 383 tractor, open station tractor, and that was a pretty good tractor. I mean, it was pretty well wore out and stuff. We definitely got a lot of use out of that tractor. I mean, before we bought our first 1411 hay cutter, we did have a 411 New Holland hay cutter, and I think it might have been like a Ford New Holland, but it was a 411, and we used to pull it back behind that 383. And of course, we did a lot of disking and a lot of plowing and disking and planting and stuff like that, and brush hogging. And did pretty much everything with that tractor. And of course, the John Deere did all the big work, and of course it fed the cows and all that. And of course, at that time we only had one cab tractor, and that was the John Deere. And but that 383, it got traded off here a couple of years back, two or three years back, for this TL100. And of course it was used, but whoever had this New Holland TL100 took pretty good care of it. And but anyways, I did try it out last year. Did grease it up, the PTO up on it and stuff, and hooked up to it. And I had a big grinder that I plugged into it and tested out. And of course, this ain't really looking all that happy. May have to fix that or get a new one. But anyways, we used to, the electricity went out, and we used to use the 383 to hook up to run the milk barn and the and plus the house over here, which was my great grandma's house. And I mean, with the milk barn running, everything in the milk barn running and stuff, and plus the house, it was probably just a little too much for that 383. And it was, yeah, it'd make that old thing grunt. And I do miss that tractor, but it was time to get rid of it. I mean, it was pretty well wore out and stuff. I mean, there for about 10 or so years, the hour meter and the dash cluster in it and stuff didn't work. None of the lights worked like they were supposed to, and it had a short in it. And long story short, we had tore the hood and everything apart trying to find that short, and could not find it. And one day, by accident, the seat was broken, and I happened to get on it. And of course, it was about dark, and I guess I must have hit one of the light switches by accident. And while I was climbing up on it, and I went to push the clutch in, and the seat kind of went back, and like I said, the seat was broken. And whenever the seat leaned back, the lights came on, and the dash and everything came on. And I thought, what the crap? And I let off the clutch, and everything went back off. And I done it again, pushed the clutch back in. Whenever that seat leaned back, lights and everything came back on. And I got to kind of looking, and I noticed there was some kind of arcing going on down back behind the seat there. And I guess that one time my great-grandpa or my grandpa Warren ran a wire for some reason, kind of up underneath, back behind the seat there, and I guess somehow I got pinched, and so there for about 10 years or so, it didn't really work. So the hours were probably a little off. When we traded it off, it probably had about 5,000 hours on it, but those weren't the true hours. But we used to use it to run this old generator, and I mean, it did pretty good, but with everything running and stuff, it was a little bit much. And of course, if electricity goes out again, I'll just use the TL100. I mean, it'd be pretty well perfect for it. And of course, now we're not running the milk barn or anything, and electricity goes out over there at the house, or if my uncle's electricity goes out, we can just hook up to it. And of course, we do have an air generator, and it's a Laken welder generator. It's pretty good size. I don't know if it's my granddad's, but back in 2009 we had a ice storm, and we had quit milking cows then. So the ice storm, whenever that ice storm hit, we tried running that Laken generator, and we was having problems with it. And I mentioned to Grandpa about maybe dragging this thing out, and he was like, well, there's a lot of shit piled up around it. And I went over there on the tractor to try to get it out, and yeah, I mean, you couldn't even hardly see it. My grandpa had piled so much junk up around it. Of course, there was a lot of junk in the bed, and that was a miserable time. And of course, like I said, there's a lot of junk in here, and a lot of old motor oil cans and stuff. There ain't no telling how old these things are. Of course, they're actually cardboard. And how many are there? Phillips 66. A whole box on them here. That one's empty. It must have leaked out. Got a hole in it, leaked out. But yeah, probably some warm day, I'll probably come in here and get me a couple of feed sacks and clean it all out and stuff. There's a bunch of old Mountain Dew bottles and cans and stuff. And that's kind of what those are. Oh, those for the box boarding. I forgot about them. Huh. But yeah, just clean it out and stuff. And but yeah, it's best to have it out to where I can easily get to it, and if electricity goes out again, because if it had been one of these really cold nights, yeah, we would definitely need it. And of course, the other night when the electricity went off, it really didn't get all that cold. I mean, it got down to like 35 or 32 degrees, so wasn't really too awfully worried about it. And of course, the electricity was off only maybe 2 hours, if I can remember right. But it's always best to have something, at hand. And unlike back during that ice storm, when we was having problems with that Laken generator running, it'd run for a little bit and then die. And of course, I think it had a lot of water in the tank and stuff. Somehow it managed to get water in there, and it was freezing up, and that was just a pain. And if we had this, on hand, that'd been perfect. But at least, of course, after that ice storm, I started dragging it out, and I drug it out and kind of had it to where if we need to, I can get to it. And I just figured that while I was over here, I'd go ahead and get the till. Somebody's calling me. I'll call you back. Anyways, so figured I'd just go ahead and drag it out and do that. It's supposed to be pretty nice throughout the rest of the week. Today is just miserable and stuff, so haven't really been a whole lot going on or anything like that, besides just being cows and the weather and stuff. But alright, I'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see ya.